So welcome to everybody. Today we're going to talk about a product that I've been falling in love with, or my body's very happy that I found, turmeric, curcuma. So it's a company called Vidafy. They started in Mexico. It's an American couple that worked with a technology or found a technology that make turmeric possible to go out in the bloodstream and be absorbed and can work with the body. That is one of the general things with turmeric, is that it does not reach out to the bloodstream very well. I think it's about 10% where it reaches the blood in the cells, and this one has an absorption rate of 95%. So you might have seen a photo with this bottle. There's two different products. They're, just so you know, they're the same, but they're different components. One's called Curcumin Plus, one called Nanophy Curcumin. Nanophy is the technology that is patent in Germany. They have several patents for this product. So you can read all about that in the ways, if you like to know a lot more. There is so much information about it. I'm not going to go into technical details because that's not my thing, but there's enough information about it. So I have tried mostly the Curcumin Plus. I started there. Because in the description of them, you will see that the Nanophy curcumin is mostly, it's a higher doses of curcumin with vitamin D. The Curcumin Plus has curcumin, vitamin D, vitamin C, and ginger. So people that are a bit sensitive in the stomach, or they, for example, get nausea very easily when they take alternative homeopathic things, they recommend this one. But at the end, it's like 50-50 what people fall in love with. It's not a big difference, but there's a doctor that works with this and gives it to his patient in America. He says usually they end up being 50-50 what people prefer, but there is not a big difference with them. So it's more like try one, try the other one, what works for you. And it's in a liquid form. It's like an oily liquid form. It does dissolve in water and warm water. So you're allowed to put it into water, coffee, tea, anything that's warm. I also put them in capsules and eat that in the morning because I have an easier time with that, but that's up to you. So in warm liquid, it is dissolvable. That is also a difference of it, because usually it's very hard to dissolve curcumin. I've been taking it raw before. I've been taking it in pulver, all of that, and I've liked it. When I tried this the first time, and this is about a month ago, I got an energy. Somebody was posting about this in Denmark. So people I knew had been taking this for a couple of weeks and had quite dramatic changes in the body. And I know them. So they were telling me about it. And I was like, this is interesting. It's turmeric, curcuma. That's what I've been researching and reading about a lot, because I have had quite a lot of digestion problems. I've had high level of stress while my dad was with cancer for 4 years. I was with him so much the last 2 years. So my body wasn't doing well. And afterwards as well, I was very low in energy, burned out, had a lot of problems with my body. And I've done a lot of treatments. My body said, try this. So I did. And within a week's time, I noticed very different digestion system. I've also noticed it's detoxing. It's throwing out a lot. Sometimes I have to go to the toilet many times. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But it's so different. So my digestion system is much more calm. I don't react so much. I can eat so much different foods now as well. I don't bloat up. I don't feel like I'm pregnant anymore. I sleep differently, but whole nervous systems is also calming down. That's one thing I noticed myself. And then my friend that took it for a week, she said her desire to eat sweet things is almost gone. And I was like, I don't eat a lot of that anymore either. And my body is asking for different foods. So personally, I've noticed a lot, and my skin has changed. So that's for me. The first week was so dramatic. Also, like my fogginess, I didn't even know that I had that. My fogginess went away, and I was like, my head got sharper, clearer. So for me personally, there was a lot of change. And that's why I'm like, okay, I want to just see what this is possible. And then I went into a Facebook group that's called Disruptive Wellness, where everybody posts their own experiences, their own changes, and the doctor as well that works with them. So he basically gives information before and after how he works with his patients. So I went in there and started reading, and I got so surprised how quickly people change quite severe things with issues with their body. It will take different time for everybody, that's for sure. But it basically works a lot on every system, on your nervous system, on your digestive system, on like almost the whole body. And I understood it as well, because we have a lot of problems with our digestive system, and there's often also a lot of inflammation, and inflammation creates weird stuff in the body, and it creates a lot of pain, and we can't absorb things. So there's a lot of benefits by getting also just our digestion system in place, so our cells can be nurtured in a different way. So there's a lot of testimonials. I have a couple of my friends that started using this just for 2-3 weeks, and they have directly noticed difference. One has had cancer, and she has also had COVID quite severely and has still got problems after that. And she noticed she can, after 2-3 weeks taking them, work differently. She's not as tired. She can eat and digest things as well. Like, there's just quick changes where she had almost given up hope in some areas, where I'm like, okay, this is interesting to see how quickly things change. My friend has a husband that was a little bit depressed, or quite a bit. Within a couple of days, his mindset started changing. He was thinking positive, and she was like, this doesn't change that quickly. He's not done anything else. So it's very interesting to see how the bodies change when they get something that starts giving the body a balance that it requires. So I'm just happy that this exists at the moment. I can't say this is good for everybody, it will work for everybody. That's not what I'm saying. Go, if you'd like to know more, and especially if you have something you'd like to look at, go into this Facebook group. I will post it also on, and if you don't have it, ask me. I'll give it to you as well. Go in there and look and search for whatever issue you have, or whatever you want to look at. Like, there's a lot of videos about heart problems, liver things, everything with depression, nervous system, all the things that we have in menopause. Then they quite use it for children and animals too. So if you have a horse or a dog or cat, there's a lot of testimonials in there for as well. But I was also very curious, because there's quite a few people, like with epileptic seizures, that they haven't had since they started taking the oil or the drops. Then I'm intrigued to see what happens. And I've read a lot, but I know a couple now that I've ordered that have autistic children, or Asperger, ADHD, and things like that. And it helps with that too. I don't know how far it goes, but I have a couple of friends that are going to try it out now with their kids and with themselves. And that's where I get very intrigued. How does this work, and how does this contribute to people? But like, for example, skin and hair and things like that, that changes, of course, as well, because that is a lot to do also with the digestive system. The thing they recommend is 10 drops per day, or up to 20 drops. So 10 in the morning and 10 in the evening, especially if you have something going on in your body that you would like to create a change. That's when you go up to 20 drops. I've gone up to 20 drops because I'm just curious what will happen with my body. That's me. So I started with 10 drops, but it was like intense. So I went down to 6, and then I started adding it up until 10 in the mornings. And now I'm also 10 in the evenings. So there's no problem of going to sleep after you drink them. Even better, your whole system starts relaxing. And this is where you can take it in different ways, in a hot liquid, or you can want to do in these other vegetable capsules, I was going to say, but in capsule, you can put them in and then swallow them, because some people don't like having the taste, but for me, that's not an issue. It's just different ways I like taking in things in my body. So it's about 10 to 10. Kids, they recommend taking a drop per age, up to 10 drops, not over 10 drops. By dogs and cats, they have said about 2 drops, but I know today that she took 8 drops for her dog. It was so clear. She tested how many drops his body wanted. Horses as well, you can take a couple of drops as a bigger body. What I've noticed and read about a lot is, especially animals that have a lot of pain or joint problems, they have got a lot of help with this. So also, any pain you have in your body, arthritis, anything, rheuma, like anything like that, has very, very clear change with people. I don't have that problem. I did have pain when I started in my back. I don't have that anymore. So things like that. I had, when I got the oils or these drops, the first time, I had a fracture in my foot. I had started being able to walk again on it, but still had pain, and it was sometimes a little swollen. That went away very, very quickly. And I don't have any means of it. I still feel that I've had the fracture, but it healed. It's healing very quickly. So, but again, you never know as well, but everything that has inflammations in it, you'll see things change quite rapidly. So that's one thing I'm very curious how this can be used. It doesn't have any side effects more than you can get, of course, a detox, or your body just wants to get rid of things. You might see it. Some people have noticed very much when they go and poo, that there's a lot of things coming out because your body is gonna detox and throw things out, that it's gonna cleanse the body as well. So that is interesting. Otherwise, what I read also from what the doctor recommends as well, of course, if you have something going on and you're in a treatment, you can always ask your doctor if it's okay to take it. And it's good to do that as well. But there's no side effect in that you cannot combine it with medications. I know several people also using it while they are in treatments with cancer. I would have loved to have had this before my dad left, but I don't. So I'm going to spread it to everybody I know that has any issues, because it both helps during treatment, but it also will help to support your liver and your kidneys and everything that is tough, and your stomach and all those, if you do chemo or whatever you do. So there is people doing that at the moment. One woman I know, well, she's doing blood tests and all, it's getting better, but you never know. But she's looking at supporting her treatment, so that's very interesting just to talk to her. She has blood cancer. There's so many ways of looking at this and seeing what it can support. What I'm saying to everybody, try it, what works for you or not, because we will never know, and it's not a guarantee thing. If you order the bottles through the website, they have a 30-day policy that you can get your money back if you're not happy with the product. What I like, because sometimes you will just feel it's not for you when you tried it. I haven't had that response yet, but that can happen. And I think it's very good if the company can stand there and say, this is a good product. If you don't like it, you get your money back. So if you order on the website, that is a guarantee for you. So far, I haven't noticed that at all. People get very happy. But my body wasn't clear, and I often listen without understanding why. But okay, this one was a little bit easier for me because I did know what kurkuma does with your body. And I was like, wow, have they found a way of absorbing it differently? So usually the body can absorb kurkuma about 10%. That's what the studies say. And this one is up to 95%. It has also a bioavailability of 277 times more than usual. Women a bit higher than men. It stays in the bloodstream for 24 hours, what is usually about 4 to 5 or 6 hours max. So it's also good if you take it every 24 hours, because then it keeps on working all the time. That's why I heard also somebody always doing morning, evening, so it doesn't miss out on any of the hours. And I was like, okay, makes sense. So those are things that are very positive. And I noticed that my system is also calmer. My whole system is like very different. Please interrupt me with any questions you have. So it's still very new on the market. It's not available in every country. So they started in Mexico, in the US, and I know Canada. Then we have Europe, plus UK, Norway, and Switzerland. Then I heard Colombia today that they have that. And then we have New Zealand and Australia in a pre-launch where you can order from US. So those are the countries so far. Maybe there's somebody in South America, I don't know, I haven't heard about it, but it's very new. The company exists for 5 years. In Europe now, I think 3 months. They're doing a launch in September now in Amsterdam. The distribution goes from Amsterdam with DHL. Unfortunately, they take over the whole distribution. That means we're paying higher amounts on shipping. Even if I'm one of the highest countries, Sweden and Denmark, that didn't stop me. I just looked, okay, bottles cost a little bit more. I'm fine with that. I want to try the product. And you can, of course, ship together and things like that as well. But it's higher cost of shipping. It goes down a bit depending on the amount you order. But that you have to be in. I pay 42 euros in shipping, and then it goes down 10% or 15%. Depending on how much I order. Like Germany has 21 euros in shipping. So it costs a little bit more than I'm used to. But again, I was okay with it. I put it on the bottles. They cost more. That's how I reasoned with it. Do you guys have any questions?
I'm trying to think what questions to ask you, because there's so many questions I would love to ask. From when I saw your very first post, it piqued my interest straight away. I actually did research on the internet. I kind of looked at the image of the bottle. I'm like, okay. So my question is, because some of the symptoms you described that it can help with. I'm kind of getting, like with you, how you kind of spotted this and it kind of caught your attention. It's kind of caught my attention. I'm just wondering, because I normally get quite bad reactions when I try something, especially when it involves detoxing of some sorts. And I'm just wondering if, it would be maybe better to kind of like, because because I talk to my body, if I should ask my body how many drops rather than just
Yes.
take a recommended dosage.
Absolutely. So I was to a fork when I started. And then I was like, how many do you want? So yes, please ask your body, because we all are different. And if you don't know how to ask your body, start slow and going up. I haven't really noticed any extreme detoxing. So it's been much more smooth than I thought it would be. Some people do detox and others, but start, like, the thing is, if they say 10 drops a morning, you might only require 3 to have the same effect.
Right.
And that's one thing I like, is honoring your body, ask it, and then try it out. My mom is she's on maybe on 2 drops or 3 drops max. My brother is about 7, 8, I think. We all started like, I said to him, I'll make it low. And my mom has also been quite sick. So she usually racks hyper and everything. So 1 or 2 drops she does per day. And start low. I would definitely go with your body. Basically the recommendation is, this is the max you should be doing. If you do more, it's not an issue, but it's that what we're seeing works for the bodies. But most people do start lower.
Okay. And the other thing is, how soon can it be shipped once you order?
Directly. I
So,
got mine. This is a difference. I don't know the UK, because UK is outside of Europe. But what I noticed, it's between 4 days to a week, something like that. I've noticed it taking, and I don't know if it adds a couple of days to UK. That I don't know. I would have to ask somebody else that has ordered to UK.
okay.
It's
My last question would
Yeah,
be, is this something that we would need to take for the rest of our lives, or just as long as we would require it?
up to you. I don't think there's ever something we need to take the rest of our lives. I don't believe in that. I think if it works for you and your body wants to have it and you'd like it, it's up to you to choose if you want to have it or not. I do not know. I mean, the company is 5 years old, so nobody has taken it very long. So when I hear the experiences that people have been on for a year or two, I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen with my body. I mean, one of the guys that does videos, he had a big birthmark here. It fell off.
Wow.
And I was like, what? My friend that just done it for a couple of weeks, she has spots from aging that has started going away on her skin. And I was like, okay. So I'm just curious what happens with a body, because they say it starts rejuvenating a bit too. I don't know how much that means. We all have different bodies. Our bodies will do different things. I mean, I've also noticed when they say they've had a lot of health issues, like severe health issues, some will notice quicker, smaller change, but also the doctor says, hey guys, if you have severe things in your body needs time to readjust and heal and change and develop. It will not do that in a couple of weeks. It will maybe need a little longer. And I was like, yeah, makes sense, because we're not taking a tablet to quick fix. We're balancing the whole system again. And that will take your body time to readjust.
Okay.
But then
So
again, you choose.
so my other question would be, would we need to change what we eat?
No. I mean, there's always things they talk about, but you don't need to change anything. Like for my brother, he doesn't change anything in his diet. He doesn't really take anything alternative, not a lot. And he has very severe psoriasis, like where the skin, like it's open wounds too. And I also like, maybe you should get something to heal your body. And I was like, hey, at least start with the drops. And within a week, you see his skin healing, and also the color and everything. I'm like, that was quick. So it's going to be very interesting to see him after a couple months where he hasn't changed anything else. So it's going to also be a little bit of a guinea pig looking at that. I have noticed, so my body is craving less sugar, what I've craved quite a bit. It creates different food and less of it. I've had many evenings it doesn't want to eat anything, and I'm not even hungry. And I was like, okay, this is different. So I'm also not trying to stuff my body, but if I'm hungry, I will eat. I try to do regular so I don't stop the system. But I've also noticed do you want something? It's just like, no, okay, let's allow my body also to take care of what it needs. So I'm not stopping anything. I gained quite a bit of 10 kilos or something during the last 2 years with my dad. I've lost about 2 in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. I'm not on any diet at all. And I've started moving again more because I couldn't due to my fractured foot either. So I'm just allowing the body to adjust. I will definitely do more sports and adjust some things, but I've also started being very kind to myself. So I'm not on any diets or any strict things because I know my body also needs to heal with me and take care and be kind after all of those years with the very high level of stress. So, but I've noticed it's like my nervous system is way calmer, very little stress in the system. Well, with one thing I must notice, the less stress it is, I'm like, oh my God, it's not been good. Like I get to reflect on myself a lot at the moment to change. But please don't change anything you don't want to change. See what your body also contributes to.
Yeah, that's what appeals to me the most, is calming
Mm.
the nervous system.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I most probably have experienced some symptoms of menopause, but just in a more intense way. And so when I first started seeing your posts, I was like, wow, okay. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for, offering this Zoom call today about it.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. And I will be doing the things like there's so many people asking me questions at the moment, German, English, and other languages. And I was like, I'm just going to start doing videos because either you want to try it or you don't. And it's so totally okay. But I also know there's lacking of information. There's nothing in German. Like there's no information in German at all. So everything is in English on the website too. So it's easier for us to read. But it's been very interesting with the Germans because they want the information and everybody's using turmeric. So we all know kind of the benefits of turmeric. There's about 20,000 studies done on turmeric. So even the scientists know how good the shit is. But if it doesn't come into our blood and our bloodstream and our cells, it cannot do the work it is supposed to do. So this is where I get very intrigued to see, okay, if this has this availability and bioavailability and really goes into the body, 95% absorption rate, that's crazy great, good. So that's why I'm trying it. I've had it now for little over a month, maybe. I would have to check exactly the date I started. I do want to write that down because it's very interesting, but it's very new to me. So I'm just sharing what I know, what I've read, and I'm in this group, Disruptive Wellness, and looking at the different posts because they amaze me, and also the things with kids. And I'm curious, and I also have a horse. It's going to be interesting. It's new, but thank you for the question, Haley. And any information you guys need at some point, please reach out. It doesn't mean I know everything, but I will try to find the information too for you guys.
This is Helene here.
Hey, hi.
Hey. Since I saw your post,
Yeah.
I went out on the internet and I saw that there are many different kinds of these drops out there.
Mhm.
And I also went to the health food, also hälsokostaffären,
Mhm.
and they had 2 bottles there. So before I ordered yours, I couldn't wait. So I bought that also. Do you
Cool.
know what's the difference between the one that you have and that we can order here from you and what's out there? Because it's so many different kinds.
So what you want to look is what I've seen out there is the technology they have is unique. You cannot find it in any other system yet. I can't find it. I've Googled a lot. I've looked and done a lot of research. There are some good things out of them, but this one has the highest bioavailability on it. And the technique is patented, so they don't have it. So I know that as well. So you have to look at the absorption rate of it. So you have to look behind also what they're offering. That's what I know.
And will you give a link that we can order at the end of this?
I can definitely give you that. I was like, oh, I didn't prepare for that one. I was like, I'm just happy to contribute with information. And the thing is, if you find something, I have a lot of different turmerics at home, but when I start doing this one, I was like, oh, here's the difference that I was looking for. But there are good things. So I'm not going to discredit any company out there that doing an effort and doing great stuff. So there's good things. I've done a lot of tablets. I've done a lot of pulver. I've done a lot of fresh. I buy my turmeric in Germany usually and bring it to Sweden in kilo wise, but now I'm like, I don't need to do that anymore. But the difference, I've seen the technology that how much it goes into bloodstream and what they also have studied. So they've done really good researches. One of the people that I work with now with the oils, she is a psychologist and she looks a lot on the research. And she said these researches are really good. So they're not just with a small group, they're well done.
So this company has done their own research
as well, but international researchers. So it's not their own page. So it's also the researchers.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. And the technology is German. So they have been working with the technology in German that is patent for this company. So it's only related to the company that they have been working to get these products out.
Mm.
And then you'll also, if you have, this is the thing I'm very intrigued by the doctor that's been working with his patients. So what he also does, he does blood tests and then he works with them and does no blood tests. So he gets a lot of, you'll see there's so much facts that they're using, what I love. And he also recommends things, and I would love to interview him also for the European market. And I would love to do German things so you get more information because he's really doing his job with his clients. I wish we would have that. Like in Sweden, that does not exist. Will most likely never exist, but it's impressive to have a doctor that working with
it. My fiance is asking, a curcumin plus, is that the same as drops?
Both are drops.
Both are drops.
Both are drops. They're liquid drops. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. One
just has more curcumin. The one that says called nano-5 curcumin has a higher percentage of curcumin in it. The other one has a little bit of a little less percentage of curcumin, but with vitamin D and vitamin C and plus ginger. So that's the one that's a little softer on the stomach. The other one has a higher rate on curcumin with vitamin D. So both are with vitamin D included.
Last question. Which one are you using?
At the moment, I don't know why. I just got the energy on curcumin plus. So that's the one that has ginger, D and C vitamin. I don't know. I just got the energy of trying this one. I do have a sensitive stomach, but it doesn't seem to bother on this at all. And then my mother too. So I was like, I ordered this one first. I do have both now. So next bottle, I'll try the curcumin, nano-5 curcumin, just to get an experience what that one is. I usually just go with what I get an energy directly on. But I know when they said sensitive stomach, I'm like, I grew up with a sensitive stomach. So I think it might have clicked a little bit in my head too. I would say, but I'm going to try the other one because I didn't have any reactions with my stomach, just positive. My digestive system, I can eat things, I can digest things. I have a tendency to have a lot of diarrhea because when I eat something and it doesn't want to digest, it just throws it out. So it's been a really issue for me. And I've worked a lot with different things, got a little better, and then it kicks back again. Since I have this, it's getting just so smooth and I can eat so much that I wasn't able to eat. I've noticed a lot of people that have allergies or like intolerances, they don't have it anymore. So I don't know how long that takes, but quite a lot of people have also changed that in their bodies. And I'm like, okay, my body does not bloat anymore, almost at all. And that's very different than what I'm experiencing the last year and a half.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. These are great.
Here comes another one.
I love it. No, but this is question time. So there's not too many questions.
So this is from my fiance again. Is there a difference between plus and the small bottle with the drops?
No, they're the same quality quantity.
Yeah. The content. Is it the same absorption rate?
Yes, both of them have the same absorption rate.
So they work the same.
They work exactly the same. This is so funny because I got the question. One says nano-5 curcumin. Is that the only technology? In that one, no, they just put a name on it. So there's no difference of what it does. There's no difference of the absorption rate. The only difference is in the nano-5, the one, you have a little higher percentage on curcumin, 33 milligrams. On the curcumin plus, it is 31 milligram. So it's 2 milligram difference. So that's the only difference. And I have a chart where you can see exactly what's included and how much it is included in them. But that's the difference of the curcumin, and just added some of the other things to it.
Thank you so much.
But a good question. Thank you. Here's the link to order if you want. There you go. And also be aware, if questions show up, just text me. Again, I will see what I can find for information. And I've also noticed there's so many areas it works with. I've listened to testimonials that have been incredible with liver dysfunction. They're about to, well, they're basically just before they get on a transplant list where the doctor's really, really stressed that it's going really downhill. And she started using the oils, and within 2 months, she's on a, the doctor doesn't know what she has done, but he just says, continue, you are changing your liver. So she's super happy. She's been dysfunctional with her liver for many, many years, but just on the edge of if she needs a transplant or not. So hearing those stories, and she's sharing it and telling us about it. There's other people that have tumors and really severe things where they look at it and work with their bodies. And when I hear those stories, I get just in awe. Is this really true? What can we create in our bodies if this is helping the body so quickly, and also with intense things that are like, this is different. There's of course never a guarantee. There is never also a timeline. What I heard, please let the body at least try it 3 months, and you'll see if it's going somewhere with your body. Some bodies will have a very quick change and will show you, and some bodies will take a little longer, and then you see something. So be aware, how is your body? How do you usually react? And allow it also to have time, because it does want to get things in balance again. And it all depends, where are you in your body, and how does it work with you? I notice very quickly things in my body, and that's great, but it might take quite a few months until there's really great things going on. So, but I was very happy just to perceive like what's starting to change. And that was very interesting. The fog, that was my brother and I was like, do you also notice it? It was like you get a clearer mind in the head. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I was very happy because I was about to start going antique fair for 5 days from morning to evening. I needed a little bit more energy. I can also say I have a lot more energy. Yeah, things have changed a lot in my body. I'm really just grateful. I could talk for hours about things, but and I can't say that I have a severe sickness. I can't, but I've been burned out the last year and not been able to work, not been able to sleep very well, digest things. Like my digestive system shows me directly where what is not working.
Did your brother see a difference with his psoriasis?
Yes, within a week.
Oh.
Yes. So he had open wounds. He has a lot of psoriasis. I'm going to photograph along the way. I haven't seen him because I've been gone now for a while, but so I gave him the drops. He started very low with about 5 or 6 drops once a day. And we were preparing the antique fair. So we were working like from morning to evening. It wasn't like relaxing time. So when we were at the antique fair and the second day, like, look here, my skin is different. So he had open wounds here between the fingers. And he showed me how they were, that you could see how they already started healing, and also the color of the skin. And I looked at him, he's like, yeah, I don't understand it. I've never seen it heal like this. And I was like, no, okay, it's working. So he was very grateful because he said the only thing he has to watch out is not to scratch, because then of course it opens up quicker. But he said that was also easier. But he was very fascinated because he's had it a long time and he hasn't really done anything. And I said, do you want to try it? At least I know it's good for the skin. And I know it's good for your stomach as well. And he doesn't do anything. He has not changed, and he doesn't have the best diet. I couldn't say that for healing skin and things like that, but it definitely has changed his skin. And I'm amazed by that. I'm going to meet them in a couple of days. So it's going to be interesting to hear my brother and my mom what has happened. But my brother had quick changes, and he's not one that is like a believer or thinks it works or things like that. He just is trying it out. But that with the skin, I've heard a lot of people have different experiences with that. So that's why I read I went into this Facebook group, I read a lot of things, and then I was like, okay, this works. So I read a lot about the skin. And then I said, hey, I've read this. I don't know it, but would you like to try? And he was up for it. So that was cool to see. There are quite a few Swedish people that have asked me questions, so I wonder if there's more people that would like to order together. Sweden has this ordering for 42 euros, so shipping costs a little bit. You can order bigger packs and things like that. If you want to order together, let me know. Then we can also see if you want to go in as a distributor. They call it entrepreneurs, but you don't have to be active in it. So that can also reduce a little of the prices if you buy more bottles. Most people order like 3 bottles at a time because that's a good price range and you have a little bit of a discount. And then you can at least try it. A bottle, if you take 10 drops per day, a bottle will approximately be for 3 weeks, just so you know that. Yes, I can write the group for yes, I can. Let me see if I can find it quickly, the group. It's good to have a link of that group. Yes, I know. Sorry, I do have that one. There. And if you don't find the things I've been talking about, just message me a messenger and I'll just give you everything you require. So that's very easy for me. But it's yeah. And if you're German speaking, you're on here. We're also going to create a Facebook group with German testimonials and things like that, just to help people, because we're starting to gather information of people trying out the oils. So that's good. I got my shipment to Sweden in 4 days, so I was very, very happy. I was about to drive over to Denmark just to pick it up, a bottle for my friends. But then she said, oh, I think you're getting them within 2 days. I'm like, okay, if they're not here on Thursday, I'm driving over to Denmark. And she's like, yeah, you're welcome at any time. So it went fairly quickly. But then again, there are some hiccups. It's a new website, like it's a growing website. It has some issues. They have had issues, things. I have just encountered a little issue in Austria. So I think we're the first ones in Austria, because the website cannot take payments in Austria. So there's a little hiccup up on the website. So we all have to be aware of, it's very new, everything, and it's expanding very quickly. They have had a lot of shipment problems, delays. Not in Europe, but in other countries. And at the moment, they're putting their energy in Europe. So we are basically prioritized. So everything works well in Europe. So we get our shipments much quicker than in America usually. They have caught up now in America, so they're doing well again. But I have had clients that had to wait 5 weeks. That's no fun, 4 or 5 weeks. But that has also changed again. But in Europe, it's going well. But there's still small hiccups. But that's where we have to just be aware. It's a growing company. It's quite new. It's new on the market. So any more questions? And just for you guys to know, it is a network marketing company. You don't have to work with it. You don't have to do anything. I was just a customer. Then I just knew I want to spread it. So I went and became, they called entrepreneurs. I love that word in general, but it's a distributor. So it's all that. They have a very, very, I would say very generous compensation plan. But for me, it's primarily, I like the oils. It works on my body. I'd like to make it possible for others to try it out if it's something for them or not. If you ever want to work with it, let me know. We are building a very different team in Scandinavia and in Germany, but it's not a must. There's no requirements for anything. Enjoy it, create with it for your body. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's for you, it's for you. If you have animals, ask your animal if it wants to try. See if it creates something for their body. If they have any problems with pain or joint problems, it would be a good idea, because it does change that a lot. I've seen animals that could hardly walk due to age and things like that, and they start talking the drops. Especially I've seen horses, they've shown videos about that, and that change is radical. So I was like, okay, I will see how I can get it out also for animals to be taken and contribute to them, especially horses. It's one of my dear animals. So if you know anybody that works with horses, that's something I want to try out more and get more testimonials as well. Kan man hämta det i Denmark? No, you can't really pick it up. It was my upline. So I was just like, we can share a bottle. You can get a bottle from me too. But then I order myself. I was ordering it. I was just impatient. So then she said, of course you can have a bottle, and I'll give it back to her when my shipment comes. So there is there's no selling it. If you're in Helsingborg or something like that, of course you can buy a bottle from me. That's not a problem. If you want a couple bottles, it's better you order them, you get a better price. So things like that. But we help each other. Of course, we're going to help each other. That's for sure. Just reach out if you have any ideas or any questions. Reach out to me directly and we'll see what's possible, because we will also, of course, all create more possibilities. And I have some ideas from Denmark that I learned over there, so I will pass it on to you as well if you have any questions about that. Yeah. Any more questions? Cool. Thank you, guys. And you know where to reach me. And I will be doing Zooms in a regular pace, just in English and German, just to give more information out also from all the people that have experiences with them. That's going to be the one I'm very eager to find out what you guys experience with the oils. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a really great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.